doesn't end well unless it ends. Can't just report the fucking obvious.
I don't care what a critic got to say, I got them picking up the pieces. That mean you really playing with your life, I'm about to come and
Just
run
a
it all back.
motherfucking jump. Just go.
You ain't fitting.
Let's fucking go. This is the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy, and the other fucking guy who's also ready to go is Leo. We're gonna get right into it today. How are you, brother?
I'm doing
All
pretty
right,
good,
you doing
man.
all right?
It's a good day. Beautiful outside. Another beautiful day outside.
Oh
I
my God,
love
it's
these
absolutely
days, man.
gorgeous, man. I can't wait. In the next couple days, I should be leaving for Nashville. I don't have an exact date or a flight yet, although I am concerned about the flights with all of with delays and stuff. I'm gonna check that out, see how, and then getting home. I don't want to miss Dawn's competition either.
Yeah.
But grandbaby is number one, right? You know what I'm saying?
100%.
But we've put a lot into this for Dawn's competition as well. So
A lot of work.
oh, she's done tremendous. She's done tremendous. But I think today it's supposed to be 71 as a high in Nashville. And then the rest of the week, there's a day that the high is like 50 something and the low is 27 or 29. Oh, dude.
Could be a little rough. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, I'm not lying. There is nothing I like about that. Nothing.
I don't
Nothing.
either. No, that's too cold.
I avoid that shit.
is way too cold.
So I, going home, Ohio, I tell people when they ask, yeah, I'm not coming back unless it's a really, really big deal or somebody dies. And I guess the other thing that gets me going is life and death.
There we go.
Going
The
for life.
opposite.
Yeah, the direct opposite. I didn't even think of that until now. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. You know what else is pretty crazy? That people think that the outcome of the elections last night really meant anything or a sign or are a sign. And I hope they think it is. I hope they don't understand what happened last night. And I'm talking about Democrats. I hope they don't get it. It's not surprising. What would have been surprising is if any Republicans had really won. Now, I will say there's one race I really thought maybe the Republican would have won, and then there was an outside chance on another one, and that was the New Jersey governor's race. I thought Citarelli, I thought he might be able to pull it out. It's a liberal state. They have not elected very many Republican governors. So that was an outside chance. But the one where I thought maybe something could be done was the Virginia race for Attorney General. And you remember Jay Jones, for those of you that don't live there in Virginia, that Jay Jones is the candidate that had put in text. Actually, he didn't just think this internally. He actually put it into words that if he had two bullets, he'd rather put them in both of his candidates' head and or his opponent's head, and also his family. I mean, basically approved of violence on his opponent, and it was bad. Democrats really didn't, they just stayed away from him. They stopped supporting, at least openly, and they didn't really condemn it, which was just horrible to not condemn. That would not be okay if a Republican did that. It would not be okay with me. And it wouldn't be okay with most Republicans, for sure, in this case. So I did think that. But these were all hard blue states. These are all blue states that Republicans had only the slimmest chance to gain anything with. So it's really not a surprise. It's a big win. It's not a big win. It was expected, or should have been expected. Except, like I said, you would think that people would, that decent Democrats would say, you know what? I do vote Democrat, but I can't vote for this guy. That's just horrible. How can you have an attorney general who's going to be your legal leader, right, of the state, basically? How can you have him have somebody that says shit like that? And then I don't think that was the only thing. I think there was something else in his past, too. But, you know, I think what they thought was, or what that guy's thinking was, a lot of times, most of the time, that would have knocked people out. And a lot of things that happened to Trump would have knocked other candidates out. It used to happen years ago. You know, somebody got caught with a picture of somebody that wasn't their wife sitting on their knee. They were done. They were finished. You know, it was published in the tabloids that used to be at the front of the lines when you would check out at the grocery store, interestingly enough. So, you know, Trump just weathered all the storms, and just, so that has its good and its bad things, I guess. Because a lot of the things, you know, that Trump's been accused of, or still being accused of, is just, there's no evidence of it. You know, even the felonies that they talk about, and anybody who understands those cases and have understood the appeals that have happened since then, that kind of, it's just bullshit. It was bullshit stuff, and we were tired of everything that was thrown at this guy. So some people said, you know what, I'm going to take you can beat me with the ugly stick, and I'm going to hang in there, and it worked for him. Because enough people would just vote for the D. And I think we do need to realize this. There's one thing that conservatives better be aware of that I think is really important for the next two elections. That's 26 and 28. I think Republicans should be very concerned that we might have passed the tipping point where the number of people who vote that get free stuff, that they outnumber those of us who vote that work for shit.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yeah. And those people are out there. That's a real thing. And that's how countries fall. And that's how this country will fall, is people voting for free shit for themselves. I mean, everybody's open about it. What are you going to do for me? And it's that way up and down our entire government. What are you going to do for me? You want me to vote yes on this? Well, I have this project. Even though you don't believe in this project, let's make up for an example that, you know, most Republicans think that windmill energy is bullshit. But there's still some money available, some subsidies available, and some senator or congressman, you know, had some business people approach him about doing a windmill operation, and, you know, getting grants, or, you know, whatever they submit for their business. And hey, help me with this wind farm that you don't really believe in, and I'll give you the yes vote on this other thing that you really want. That's the kind of horse trading that's, you know, always gone on, at least for a long time. I don't know about always, but for a long time for sure. And, you know, sometimes maybe it's worth it to do that. That's what you have to, maybe that's just the game. Because on the outside, for you and I, we see certain things that are done and we just think it's stupid. We're like, how does that make sense? But maybe to make it sense, we don't know the inside story of how that was traded for and happened. We don't know who talked to who. And that absolutely, you know, that it does happen. Because even things that, was something else recently. There was something else that it was mostly Democrats, but there were a couple Republicans that benefited from it in their areas. And so they were, you know, even though it wasn't something that most Republicans were for, they just wanted the money for their district and their people, kind of a thing. It doesn't even matter what it was. It doesn't matter. It just matters what I'm saying. Is the point of it is that there are a number of things, you know, like that. But yeah, that's a big deal. Republicans have to deal with this, that we might have reached this tipping point that people are just going to vote for free shit for themselves. And
has it not always been like that, though?
Well, that hasn't been a majority.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
People,
realistic-
some
people-
people have no. Some people will always vote, but I'm
That's what I'm
talking your
saying.
basic people. I'm not talking about congressional people now and they're horse traded. I'm just talking about you and
just
me,
an everyday person.
just an
Yeah.
everyday person. You know, I'm not looking for anything from the government in that
No,
way.
But I mean, if someone's gonna hand you $100 just to give you $100, you're gonna be like, no. I think a lot of people have that mentality going into this.
I agree with that. I understand that. No, you wouldn't say no, but we're not voting for that.
Oh, so you think people are gonna go out specifically because they want?
Because it's obvious. It's obvious in the mayor's race. Now, I don't know how many schools still do this. And our school really didn't, when I was growing up, didn't really do it like you see in the movies where, there's two people trying to become the class president of their high school, right?
Okay.
And did you guys vote on that kind of stuff? Did you have that kind of stuff? Class president?
Maybe. I didn't really care for it anyway. So
student body president, you know what I mean?
Oh,
like that?
yeah, actually we did. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Well, in the movies, it's kind of funny because you got one candidate that's serious, and then you have another candidate that's not serious at all, but he promises that, at least in my school, Fridays were almost always pizza day, and we would get these square pizzas.
They were not that
But
good.
dude, but at the time we thought they were.
100%.
In the 70s and 80s, we thought that was the shit
No,
meal.
I get you.
And burgers were okay, but they weren't better than because they were a little dry.
Yeah.
They weren't better than that.
I
And
I 100% get you.
Actually, the stupid thing that I liked is they would put ground beef in brown gravy and put it over mashed potatoes.
I don't think I ever.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever got that.
Dude, that's good.
They used to.
You like gravy?
Yeah.
I like gravy. Trust me, that's still good as an adult. Let me tell you.
Oh, I'm sure it's.
But it's not better. It's not better than
as
pizza.
a high school meal. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just telling what I personally like.
Yeah,
But
yeah, no, I
really,
get
the
you, I get
pizza
you.
was the shit. So as you're running for president of your student body, and you promise everybody that we're gonna have 2 days of pizza instead of just one. We're gonna put in a Coke machine. That's in schools now. When I was in school, we didn't have a lot of that. We were very limited with stuff like that. In some of the private schools, they I think one of the boys' private schools, Catholic school, they had like a Subway in the school, dude. Yeah, like it's insane. But you understand what I mean.
I get what
I'm
you're
just saying, we're going to do this. We're going to have, dances every month or, just promising shit that the kid can't deliver on.
I was about to say
He
shit
just
that the school's gonna be
the
like, no.
school would be like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. But he promised the kid, and the kids are all like, yeah, vote for, I'll get your detentions, not to be on your permanent record or whatever just
it is.
promising shit.
Yeah.
That's what I feel it's like right now, and that's what it was like in New York. You have somebody that just from that standpoint, separating from his ideology and what he believes in that way, which there's a big issue too, but separate from that, just somebody that came in and promised, yes, we're going to have more rent control because rent control has worked in New York. No, it hasn't. It hasn't worked. It hasn't worked anywhere. And the reason prices have gone up and it's so unaffordable to live for a lot of people, it's very hard to live in New York, even though people, it's our biggest city. And the West Coast, like LA, it's simply because they don't let them build. The lack of housing. That's it's a supply thing. That's the thing. It's a supply thing. And the demand is greater than the supply. Maybe that'll change. I don't know.
I don't think
if that's
so.
going to.
I think New York makes too much money by keeping the things the way they are.
Well, I think that you're going to have people that I don't know.
If you keep demand high, supply is always going to be. They can just upprice the fuck out of supply.
Yeah, no.
So in New York, they know people are going to visit New York. It's like in movie shows, like the world knows of New York.
Absolutely.
So I don't believe. Again,
I don't know how many people are going to leave because he became
not a lot.
Mayor.
I'll tell you what, not a lot.
There might be some, but your basic average person isn't because they don't own companies. But some of your other wealthier people may have or may do that or may move out of the city but stay in the state of New York. That could happen. But a lot of the things he was talking about tax-wise, you're limited to how much money you can tax people as being the mayor. There are limits.
I have no idea how it works, to be honest with you.
No, it is. Like, because you have, not all states, but some states have an income tax, and some states don't. Like Tennessee doesn't. They have a higher sales tax instead. And property taxes are another thing, higher some areas. It's low in Tennessee is a good example because they generate the money other ways. Yeah. Which I think a consumption tax, I've always been in favor of a consumption tax versus the other way. That people that are buying something
you're
new,
not paying as much taxes.
Because you're choosing to what you do.
You're choosing the taxes that you're paying when you're purchasing items.
Sure,
instead
you
of
know
just,
what is.
Gotcha.
And look, if I don't think there should be taxes on used vehicles when you purchase a used vehicle.
I feel like once
you purchase a new vehicle, fine. But a used vehicle, I mean, it just kind of balances things out to me a little bit more. If you want to tax the wealthy as they spend the money versus the other way when, then you can make the choice.
But then don't you find the loopholes of just buying things in cash and stuff like that? And then there's no such thing as taxes there.
Great question. So here's the answer to that. Then you don't have those loopholes. All of those loopholes are deductions. They're not something nefarious. Loopholes always sounds nefarious a little bit. Yeah. But I'm just telling you what they are is deductions. And the government likes the current system the way it is, as fucked up as the way it is, because they can control people. They can give you this carrot over here. Like, again, the carrot for a while has been getting a substantial deduction for buying an electric car. That's how we subsidize to get people to buy electric cars. Is we would besides subsidizing the companies making them, we would offer people who buy them to take deductions on their taxes too. Yeah. Well, who did that benefit, dude? Most electric cars, good ones, are not cheap. Remember when we went over all that and how much they lose money? The good ones, they're not cheap. They're not cheap. But that's way with any new technology.
Especially electronics.
Dude, VCRs were $1,000 and now they're $20 at one. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally get you. Exactly. I do need to run to the restroom though, so I will be right back.
I'll stop talking to you while you do that. That's just so funny. Maybe you'll have to do that for me sometime. I'm the one with the bladder issues, being old. But yeah, this is so true about taxes, and they want the control of you. So they're going to give you a carrot to do something here, and then they're going to penalize you over here. If that you get extra deductions, right? If you have kids, they want people to have kids. If they don't want you to do something, they penalize you. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it destroys whole industries. It did that with Clinton's tax that he had that they added on luxury items. And it almost at the time put our business of building boats, 30, 40, 50-foot boats, they almost put them out of business. And the people who worked those jobs were good paying jobs. And this was quite a while ago. But, those people were making $60,000, $80,000 a year, which was a lot of money when that was the time. And so you ended up hurting those people because you were trying to tax the wealthy people. That's why I'm saying that they don't want to give up the control that they have and being able to offer people. It's no different than I can offer this, offering sports teams. Instead of sports teams building their own fucking stadiums, they give away your money to build these stadiums. And it's done by Republicans and Democrats. Well, like this one's going to move here or might move there. And then you have cities competing. Who's going to give them the biggest tax break? Who's going to give them the biggest amount of money that they don't have to pay back? Who's going to get them to be able to help them issue bonds at the lowest interest rate or whatever it is? And we do that with all kinds of companies. We do that. We did that in Toledo with Jeep. All right, it's just a thing, but they want that control, and then they can take credit for it. Oh, well, we helped this business. We did this. That's the game. That's just the game. Do we want to keep playing this game? How long do we want to play this game? But people are literally now, seems like a slight majority, are willing to vote for free shit for themselves that you have to pay for. And I don't know there's been a little bit of rebellion on that. And that's where some moderate Democrats have come over to the Republican side just because they just fundamentally, that's not fair. It's not fair, especially for the people in the middle. Because you got to remember, none of it affects the fucking rich. It doesn't matter. Inflation just gives them more money, not less money. It fucks you. It fucks everybody else. Some people think, deflation is bad. Actually, deflation is not that terrible. It can be terrible for some in the housing market, or if there's a housing crash, that's, obviously that's not good. But to think that everything at some point, and it was a dumb thing to promise. It's a dumb thing to promise that you're going to be able to get prices down when you really can't. And the best that you can do is get the rate that it goes up to really, really slow down. But more often than not, at least for me, the things that Trump promised, he's been delivering on more than any other president that I've ever experienced in my 57-year lifetime. And so I don't expect 100% wins. I just don't. What I do expect is that I just hope, honestly, I don't even expect, I hope that our young people that are cheering now for socialism and communism and are very open and vocal about it, I hope they learn some lessons. I really, really do. But I don't wish failure on people. It's so hard for me. I didn't want Biden to fail. He was a failure, but I didn't want him to fail. I didn't want him to fail so that we could get another Republican in. I don't, that's just not my type of thinking. Now, I can look at somebody's policies and have an opinion on what I think is going to happen with those policies and whether they'll be successful or not. Just as people have done with Trump, and they've been wrong over and over again. We're still talking about tariffs, and there are people still hanging on to this, that tariffs are terrible, when everything to date so far, and in the not too distant future here, as we approach the end of the year, we're going to be at that year mark for tariffs. And it hasn't been catastrophic for the economy, or anywhere close to catastrophic for the economy. And experts have admitted that, but you still have other people lying about it. One other big lie that I've heard people say that were talking heads on the different news, whether it be CNN or I can't stand MSNBC. I just can't stomach it. I'm sorry. I know some of you feel that way about Fox. But yeah, I just cannot, I can't do MSNBC. CNN is kind of my go-to for the left to see what the left is thinking. I'll do that. And some of those talking heads, or they'll have political people on that are strategists and stuff, and see some back and forth that they'll go in. And this bringing up recently of these, I believe it's Argentina. That's where we're going to start getting meat. We're buying more of their meat, I think. So it's Argentina. And bailing out Argentina. $42 billion we're bailing out. And in fact, that's not the case at all. The case is that they were doing a currency exchange. But you still have people promoting it and saying, why are we giving money when we're not? Why are we giving money other than, like I said, in exchange? Why are we giving money to Argentina, but people are starving on Snap? And I want you to look up something on Snap about Snap for me. Yeah, chat will be good, or any of the AIs. But I want to know how many people were on Snap approximately when Joe Biden first took office, his first, at the very beginning of his term, when he first started, how many people were on Snap? And then how many people were on Snap when he left office? I want those two numbers. I want to see what those two numbers are. Because as we talked the other day, I'm like, wow, it's just a lot of people. And again, I'm not, I want people that really do need help to get help, but I really want to see. Go ahead.
At the start of Biden's term, January 21, SNAP participants were about 43 million. Most recently, the participants number is about 42.4 million.
So they're saying less?
So the most full data year available for 2024 is about 41.7.
Ask it again. Like I'm there's no way that can be right. That SNAP participation didn't increase over that 4 years. Because I had seen a number somewhere else and I just didn't have it. That's 23. That's not telling me what I want. Yeah. When he first got in office. So you're telling me it stayed the same, that there's no increases. Now I'm ready to do, this is how I battle Chat GPT to give me the damn numbers.
When Biden took office in 21, we don't have precise monthly figures in public reportings, but 2021 averaged about 41.5. At the end of the term, 24, it was about 41.7.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It basically didn't change.
So over his term, the number hovered in the low 40 million range, relatively modest variation.
So I'm gonna ask it right now. So SNAP. I'll give it another cue.
I have months.
I like to tell it I'm skeptical. I have a hard time believing that SNAP participation and we'll have it here shortly. Didn't under Biden. Ow. All right. I guess I don't. 22 was the highest. Spending increased. The amount that even though the number stayed the same, the amount that people got increased by over 100 billion.
That was because of COVID, was it not? Because I know during COVID, there was a lot of increases and a lot of different helps.
Yeah. But that's the thing. When COVID ends with all these different things, that we didn't go back to pre-COVID levels and we're still spending this money.
It looks like it dropped after COVID. So I have the months up here.
But is that the
participants per month?
Yeah, that's right. That's what I'm saying. The participation did stay the same.
It looks like it
basically.
I mean, I don't know.
I'm not
like
going
a
to quibble
million.
about a million people. You know what I mean? I'm not going to. It was 41 to 42 million for pretty much the whole time,
It
right?
it dropped down to 40, but again, like at
That
that
was
point,
in 1 month. That's just 1 month figure of that month. But it stayed between that 40 and 42 and change number during that
for the
time.
for the majority.
So
of
I'm
it,
just
correct.
saying it's pretty steady, man. If this was a graph, the graph would be like this. It
Yeah.
wouldn't be like this. It'd
Yeah,
be
yeah,
like this. All right, that's all I'm saying. But the graph that would be different is this. Meanwhile, total spending on SNAP rose substantially. One source says total spending over 4 years of the administration through October of 24 was about 439 billion, compared with 326 billion in a comparable 4-year period of the previous administration. So that would be Trump's first term. So during Trump's first term, his 4 years, we spent 326 billion on SNAP benefits, and under Biden, 439. But we weren't, by that increase, we weren't helping more people, though. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
We weren't helping more people. We were just giving the same people more money. And I'm not saying they didn't deserve some increase because, 21, 22, and 23, those inflation rates really went up. I'm willing to take the L on what I thought about the number of people, but this is how you figure shit out.
Yeah.
And this is the process we go through. And, if I challenge it and can still do that, like, to me, information, the more and better information you have, helps you come to better and better conclusions.
100%.
And sometimes some information doesn't change that. But I was just curious for sure. But honestly, that's been a big thing for me. It's been a big thing for me to be for going back, as we talk about all the budgets and the shutdown of the economy and everything, that I'm one of only a small number of people because we don't have a lot of representatives, senators that feel this way. There's just a small number that are like me that believe that we could easily fix the budget and budget problems right now. A lot of things would be cut, but if we just went back to the numbers that we had pre-COVID, if we did the budget based on that number, we're actually taking in enough tax revenue to cover that.
But
what's that? So there
I
would
don't
be,
know,
it's a balanced budget. You have to balance your own budget.
for sure, but I feel like it's so different when it go like a day-to-day person compared to like the government.
Why is that different? Do you, what,
'Cause
be,
you
just
gotta
because
take-
they don't, because the government can just continue to accumulate debt?
It's
You're
that's
how can you-
honestly made like it's a made up, like, if we're gonna be real, like, debt isn't a thing at that level, right?
How is it not?
I really don't believe so, right? Because at that point, like,
I have no idea
so,
how
like,
you could have that belief.
I don't know, like, it's just like who realistically, who do we owe money to?
Well, we owe money to people who own bonds. And we are included in that because our own U.S. government, actually, we are the largest holder of U.S. bonds.
Yeah.
It's not China. China's a close second. But we owe China. China's loaned us money. That's the bonds. It's real debt. Now, the one thing I will say is I don't know how it works. It seems crazy to me that we can, like, buy our own bonds.
And that's what I'm trying to say. Again, this is just my way of thinking and what I've put together over the years. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me that superpowers can be dead to each other, and we still have the relationships that we do. Like, I understand it's business in one hand, but at the same time, like, I mean, let's go back to the mob mentality, right? I mean, if a country owed you trillions of dollars, right? Like, why wouldn't the other country be able to just shut you down completely because you owe us money?
Because those are contracts. Bonds are contracts for a period of time.
I just it's hard. I don't know. I don't know. It's a hard thing to wrap my head around. It's just, to me, it feels like an excuse that the government's used to get more money.
Okay. So this is what I'm going to say, and I do not mean it in a condescending way at all. Nothing like that at all. The financial wheelhouse is my wheelhouse.
No, I
You
get
know
that.
what I
I
mean?
get that.
Like that. What I think that you correctly represent is how a lot of people feel, and also because you've been told the sky is falling because of the debt. You've heard that
But
most
that
of
doesn't
your
make
left.
sense to me. Yeah.
Right.
Like,
Okay, but that's no different than I've been told that, climate change is going to destroy and it hasn't happened.
No.
So like, I just don't, I
Exactly.
don't believe it.
Exactly. So
Oh, well, actually,
I
I do
put-
believe the climate is changing.
Yeah,
I
but that's
just don't
just
believe
normal.
it's that. I
That
believe
drastic.
man contributes
I get
very
you.
little
I get
like that. But I think that's a good comparison
But
between the two.
I agree. But
right?
then that's why I put them at the same thing, right? Like you're gonna tell me
I know,
that this
but
is so
I'm
dramatic.
telling you,
I understand how money works and stuff like that, and I understand like we have like
most
we
people
tr-
out
we
there
trust
do not
ourselves
understand. They
that
don't
we-
understand. You really think that the general public really understand how money works?
no, I think a majority of people don't understand how money works.
Okay.
But I do believe that superpowers use debt as an excuse to get certain things out of the people. Because it's so easy. We're in debt, all this money. We need to be taxing you guys a little bit more. We need to be doing this. We need to be doing that.
Well, okay, but that's who wants to do that? You know who wants to tax you more for that?
It doesn't matter who's in power. They're gonna use it one way or another. They're gonna
Well,
use it as
okay.
we're gonna lower taxes for you guys because we wanna let like you know what I'm saying? Like you can use it
Okay.
either way
With taxes, you got to find, there's
or just whatever it be, like an excuse to take money from
there's
people.
like, look, there's a point in which cutting taxes doesn't increase revenue.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that we haven't reached that point, and that in the past, when we have cut taxes, we actually took in more money.
But
Okay,
it's just
but
the
there's a
world
point where
works
it doesn't.
differently,
Like
though.
there's a point
Yeah,
that
yeah.
doesn't happen, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then what I would say is, so on the Republican side, and again, it's only a small group of Republicans. It's not a large. It's more fiscal conservatives, and we've always had a good group of fiscal conservatives. That it's spending, and what we spend it on.
Yeah, I mean the government's
Okay.
always been horrible at that.
To address the debt, what Democrats want to do is take more money in. What some Republicans want to do is cut things out. That's the
Again,
difference.
Yeah, no, 100%. I get that. But either way, like it just feels. It's too
Well, but
it's
I-
too
well, so-
crazy
it's
of a
so,
number to
yes,
be like
there you go. It's so big.
and like no
and why
matter
not
what historically, no matter what we've done, the number keeps going up. No matter what.
Because we haven't done one thing. And let me tell you where I differ from Trump.
Okay.
That I am a believer in the part of Trump, and Reagan did this too.
Mhm.
Okay. I am a believer in growth, and having pro-growth policies for businesses, for the economy, for individuals, being pro-growth and trying to grow your way out of it. The thing is, we can't grow our way out of this anymore.
Ooh.
And the one thing that we have never done in history, we've never done it, man. We almost kind of got there under Clinton a little bit.
Okay.
For a moment, a balanced budget. But for the most part, that's never happened, that we actually cut spending and did pro-growth policies or cut tax at the same time. We've never done both at the same time. We've always done one or the other. And now we're at a point, both tools need to be used to be able to do that. Or if you even go back to my friend in Toledo, Doc Treese, he had a great plan. If we went back to that video
I do remember
and
that,
pulled
yeah.
that, Doc talked about something that he was a financial advisor back when I was a financial advisor in Toledo too, and had some good views on the economy, still does. And so we did that interview. You could find that somewhere in there. Put Troy and Doc in there, and you'll
I actually have a
it'll come up.
playlist of all the interviews on YouTube. So if you just go to
Yeah.
YouTube under playlist, there's like 8 or 9 in there.
Yeah,
and you should be able to see all
it's
of them.
still that interview is still valuable.
I agree.
What he talked about was certain assets that we have that we could
And see,
sell off.
And that's my biggest point, right? So we're not going to.
But we're not going to do
We're
that.
not going to.
So you can't use it. We still have to.
So that's why I believe that
Okay.
the whole
But
us being in debt is an excuse for anything, right? Like, because like we could do that, right? We could cut and budget at the same, and do it properly. They're not gonna want to though, because realistically, think about it, right? If we were out of debt, who does like where do we go from there?
I'm not even saying we, but again, we're at a point where there's a tipping point.
For sure.
It's no different than individuals, which is why I come back to individuals.
Mm-hmm.
You can borrow money, but at a certain point, they're going to look at you and say, you don't have the financial ability to pay us back. If this is what you earn and this is what you legally show us that you earn, you do not have the ability to pay this back, or like we would, or for us to give you any more. We can't extend the credit anymore because...
For sure, but I mean, to my knowledge, they're very lenient before they get to that point in the U.S.
Well, of course, because they're charging outrageous interest rates.
That's my point.
Exactly.
It's right. Like, they're not going to want to get rid of... They're not going to want to say no to people because they want... Exactly. So that's my whole point with the U.S. being in debt.
But you can't... Then you're going to struggle if you're that person. We're going to struggle as that country. That's not... Yeah.
But I truly don't believe that the people in power want this country to not struggle, because struggle is what keeps people in control. They can control
that.
People.
I agree with.
They can. The more
that's
struggle
about the division and everything that we're going through. So we're not on this. We're not on different bases.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about real solutions.
Oh,
though.
Look. It's not
you
that.
know what I'm saying?
No, I agree. I'm just saying.
I'm not saying
it's
they're
not
going to
realistic
do it.
In my opinion, as well. Oh, okay. No, that's fair. That's fair.
Look, because we can. We had a tremendous debate that you missed in the early to mid 2000s when I was first doing my radio show back in Toledo.
Okay.
Where it was a big topic at the time to consider doing a flat tax.
Just throughout the nation?
Flat tax.
Okay.
Like for federal government. You would send in a postcard. Your income was this. The tax is 10%, 15%.
So it'd be different per person depending on what you make? Like
no.
a flat tax, or
no,
just flat
it would just be flat all the way through.
Okay.
You paid this percentage on whatever amount your money made. There were no, but then people wanted carve out. See then, because the people in middle class people, what's one of the best deductions for middle class people? What's the number one deduction?
Kids?
No. Well, kids can be a good one, but not. What's really the biggest? Your house. The interest.
Okay.
Yeah. So like that's huge.
Yeah.
And that's built into the pricing of homes and the price of homes, and everything is done that way, okay? Once you set the rules then people adapt to whatever the rules are, right?
They have to. Yeah.
Right. So and it could be the difference, because even though the individual credit has gotten better, the standard deduction has gotten better, there are people that if they have enough of the right deductions, they can go long for them, because it's better for them to go long for them in their taxes. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So those people. So some people, the house may not benefit them because the what their house is and what the value is.
Location,
just
and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, they're not going to benefit from that because the standard deduction is going to be higher and take care of them. But other people, and again, that is upper middle class people, that is a great deduction that they get on their taxes. Yeah. So
I mean, if
if
you haven't looked into it, that's like one of the best things to look into is how you can make
that's what I'm saying.
Money on a house.
Everybody, so because they dole this out to everybody, which was what I was getting to, and it's the whole control thing, and we give you this carrot and this stick, and we don't want you to do this, so we're going to penalize you if you do this. See, it does away with all that power that they have if we have a flat tax. Because they can't give, and if we can't get that, what would be great is if we could take this thing because it used to be too. This worked for a little while, and now it's gotten out of control again. Like when Reagan came into office, tax rates were like, I mean, there was a time when the top tax rate was like 90%. I don't know if you ever heard that before.
90?
Yeah, ask ChatGPT. What was the highest federal income tax rate in U.S. history? It was huge. You'll shit, dude.
Income tax?
Income tax, federal income tax. In U.S. history. Yep.
94 is crazy. Oh, during World War II. Okay. That makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah, but still,
But
after
still
that,
90
50s, 91, then Kennedy started the first tax cuts,
Was it really that bad?
70%.
So not until
Reagan
the 80s
dropped to
did we
50. And then when we went to 28, we kicked ass, dude, from 1988 through Clinton. That we set off a boom in this country. That the 80s were the best decade ever until the 90s, and then the 90s became the best decade ever.
That's so
Go back
crazy
to
to
it.
me that the income tax was so high.
Okay, but here's
people were
what
living
you do.
Like such great
Uh,
lives.
but
Like
no,
obviously money was different. And stuff like
Well,
that.
let me tell you what was different. Everything was tax deductible almost. You could deduct the interest on your credit cards. Yeah. But what they did when they lowered the rate, they got rid of those loopholes like that. Do you see what I mean?
Gotcha.
So if we did some of that kind of, but now we've gotten back to being all crazy again, going right back up. But you don't have all those loopholes now, right? Or all those tax deductions
Gotcha.
now.
Okay.
So, but again, why does the government people like it, or the people in charge, or the people we send to Washington? You said it, and I said it. It's the one thing we agree on 100% is it's about control, and that's what they're doing with this. They're trying to control, and they're doing a very good job of it. And they can really do a great job controlling you when you fucking depend on them. Again, you know, I've struggled. I've been broke. I've been broke. And I didn't like it. And I did something about it. Now, I never applied for EBT or anything like that, or never even tried. And I'm 100% sure there was a time when I would have
Easy
legally
peasy,
qualified. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get
but
you.
I just didn't do it. Now, that's not to say I didn't have a girlfriend that had one.
Gonna say no to it. I ain't gonna say no to it.
Yeah, you know.
Hey, free
That's a
food.
true
Hey, free
story.
food is free food. You got me fucked up.
Heck yeah. You know, like
I
I
don't
bought
say no
other
to that.
people's cards. I used hers at the market to buy steaks and go there in my Cadillac too. People think it's just poor people
No.
going there doing that shit. That's not the case.
The hustlers are included in that.
Fuck yeah, dude. It's a hustle game, man.
100%.
Why would you get married and ruin that shit? Right? Why do you think, because of all these incentives like this, why do you think there aren't intact families? Because the woman can get more money from the federal government by not marrying daddy. That's just the fucking truth. For a bunch of people, not everyone, obviously, but a whole bunch of people at the lower end of middle class, it is.
Smarter people.
Fuck yeah. And like you said, are you going to turn it down?
Yeah, exactly.
Most people are going to turn it down.
that's why-
Like I did. I didn't even try.
That's
but,
why,
you know,
like,
most people-
circling around to what you like, this even stemmed from, like the whole like. That's why I feel like it's like people are always gonna go with the easier route, like especially the masses, right? And I mean, we live in the world or in the country where like the masses supposedly choose what goes around here, right?
Yeah.
So it's hard to like not, because you're right. I mean, like people are always gonna vote for free stuff or the easier stuff.
Yeah.
So like.
But that I don't. But my point is, I don't think that's a good thing.
I don't know. It's weird. It's hard to like say yes or no to things nowadays because it's such a
but
weird
see,
time.
what I have a
But
framework
statistic-
that
but
I'm putting it
statistically,
against.
yeah.
Because again, if you go back to the Constitution, if you really go back to that,
Mhm.
and what our government should be doing and be involved in and not doing, then again, you're going to see that many of the things that we do, because we do out of the goodness of our heart, taking care of our neighbors and stuff, that's not the government's job, or certainly not the federal government's job. And our states have given a lot of power up to the federal government. Our country was not founded on that. Our country was founded on states' rights. The federal government was just supposed to take care of the really big shit, like defending us in war and shit.
We just grew too quick. Is that what it was?
No, I mean, there's always been, even when they
It's just been
created the
elites, right? It's
Constitution,
just always been elites.
you know, it was a battle of, how
like
we
how
were
it's going to be put together and stuff like that. I do
But
remember
I think
that.
they did a really, really good job.
It's just
honestly,
keeping
but,
to
but
it was the hard part.
We're getting away from it and not enforcing certain things. And, it's not like they don't ever make dumb laws. We do.
There's plenty of those.
Dude, there's still dumb laws on the books today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can't walk a donkey down the street between 2 and 3 o'clock in some small shit town in
Some
Georgia.
Wisconsin, or is it Georgia or something?
I don't-
weird?
I
Yeah,
just
no.
made it up.
You're not. No, that's
But
actually
you
a
know
law
what I mean?
somewhere.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, like it's just stupid. Why is that? Why would you just get rid of stuff?
Of stupid shit like
look,
that.
you have to do that. You have to do that even here in your studio, your home studio, your home. You have to do that. You have to sometimes, and I'm going through it now, and it's always been a struggle. But once I do get some of it done, it does feel better when I get rid of shit. Like something I've been hanging on to that I might use, and I haven't used the motherfucking thing in 5-6 years. I pay almost over $200, probably $250, I think, for a storage unit that has shit in it that, you know what? I probably could have let somebody pick all the shit up for free, not paid this, and whenever I wanted, and I could have gave it, like I said, given the stuff
away.
in there for free, and with the not paying the rent that I pay
back
on it,
and buy it
I could
whenever
have
you want
bought up whatever that shit was. How
Yard-
fucking stupid is that? I'm an
Yard
idiot.
sale at Troy's.
I'm a smart guy, but I'm stupid.
No, I feel you. No, I actually weirdly crazy enough. I don't know if that's an Arizona thing, but that is, I don't know. Maybe that's why there's so many storage units being built in Arizona. That is a very common
I
thing.
could tell you that
That is a very, very common thing.
But Arizona is exceptionally bad because we make the problem worse because the homes here have shit for fucking storage, dude.
I don't know why we don't have
Shit.
fucking.
You just build homes differently
We
here.
do.
I could tell you, because you don't have basements and shit.
I don't
you know.
know.
What
That's
I mean?
exactly what I was. I don't know why we
People
don't
in,
have basements.
people in,
It makes so much sense in the desert where it's colder.
I mean, we might
like-
have had small basements and stuff, but at least you could use it for
For
storage.
yeah.
right?
Or like
And-
even the attics are too small to throw shit
And
up
then
there.
it
and stuff
became
like
a
that.
thing to make it living space.
Mhm.
And then it became like my house that I built. I had 10-foot ceilings in the basement, dude. It was huge.
That'd be so
like
nice.
it was
No,
awesome.
Because I
dude.
remember visiting
But
Colorado.
I still had a section of it that was
like for
storage. It had all the storage things all built in and fucking everything, dude.
That's what my garage is
Yeah,
turning
yeah.
into. My garage is going to turn into a storage room,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happens there too. But it's just worse here because they build houses weird here.
They really do.
Yeah.
They need to stop building so many houses.
But dude, even my desk or my den, when I go in there and I just got it, or I get some stuff on the table and it accumulates, and I just don't want to go through it. But once I go through it and get rid of that shit
you
on
feel
there,
so much better.
you feel so much better, man. You just do. You
I agree.
feel so much
I
better.
agree.
That's all I'm saying. I like, Donald Trump has a policy like that. He actually has a policy. I think he put it in an executive order that when like the different agencies create a rule or something, they have to get rid of 2 old rules. Like it's 1 for 2 or 1 for 3. I think it's 1 for 2. I don't know exactly off the top of my head, but I do know he did it. And other presidents have done that sometimes. Yeah, because it just makes.
I mean, I feel like
along the way.
I mean, just in general, I feel like everything should be updated every like 3 to 4 years.
Dude, there's still.
Especially nowadays. Like, why do we still have laws back from 1980?
Dude, why
Like,
are
what
they
the
still
fuck?
using computers from 1990?
Yeah, honestly. Like,
Right?
yeah,
I
dead ass.
mean, come on. But then we spend the money on new computers and we still don't
And
have
we
new
still don't have-
computers.
yep.
We spend the money on rail and we don't have new rail. That's the ripoff. I want results for that. I'm just like everyone else. I'm not for that shit. I'm not for it. And because we don't do a good job with it. That's the other thing. I don't want the federal government. And again, the things the federal government doesn't do, then your state government should do. And what the state government doesn't do, your local government should do. And the closer power is to you as people, the better it is.
So,
But the power is shifted. Very little local, a touch on the state level, and then the federal government is taking more. That was supposed to be reversed, folks.
do you think we'll get to a point where something like that?
Because you said because of the numbers being enormous and the things, and just it's just too much for people to comprehend.
What steps would people have to take for us to get there? Like because realistically, if we wanted to get to the point where it was more state power, like what were the first things that we realistically have to do?
Well, one thing, states do sue the federal government.
Yeah,
right.
As
But
California did earlier in the
Yeah.
year.
But I think would have to sue the federal government in a right way to establish or maybe even challenge, because just because something is a precedent
Mhm.
doesn't mean it can't ever be changed.
Yeah.
But the longer it stays the precedent, the more likely it is
It's gonna
not to
stay.
change.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean an effort shouldn't be made. So people are mad at Trump because Trump challenges, and even he's actually challenging and trying to find where how far he can extend. I do agree with this, that he is doing this.
Mhm.
He's trying to push and see how far the executive power of the presidency can go. So he's pushing the limits of that.
Yeah.
So people say, oh, Trump's doing this. He's violating the Constitution. No, he's not. He's testing it. He's testing it, and then it goes to court, and then it goes through the appeals process, and then it goes to the Supreme Court.
Mhm.
And if the Supreme Court doesn't take it, then it just stays the way it is. Okay. But they can take it and make a decision or more clearly define the answer to the situation.
Mhm.
Right. And he's testing that. But for the most part, Trump has not defied the courts. When a court decides this is against the Constitution
Mhm.
or it's something you shouldn't do, and then you keep doing it, then you can put that label on him.
Okay.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
No, that's fair.
I think it is fair. But that's and the best example I can give from that is the Biden administration. The Supreme Court said you can't cancel all these students' debt. And then Biden went about trying to use every other loophole he could potentially find to wipe out student debt. And again, it's not like I dislike the people with the debt. It's like, how do you get to pick and choose? So, like, you're going to do this.
Some people get lucky. Sometimes people
It's
don't.
just
Like,
not-
I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like
That's not supposed to be their role, though.
no, I don't. But I mean, I can tell you that definitely helped me out. So,
Sure.
So I ain't gonna complain about
and
it.
I'm not. Look, why would you?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to complain about you doing that.
But I get what you're saying.
I'm just
though.
saying long term for the country. If you're thinking about not an individual perspective, but us as a collective,
Mhm.
isn't that what oh, we're all together in this. Are we together in this? Or are we not together? Are we individuals? And
But is it also ignorant to like believe that you're gonna help everyone in this country?
No. But here's the thing: what I do believe in helping, okay, because I'm not an uncompassionate person, is the people truly in need, and helping them find a way out. And then for people that are unwilling to do that and go through that process, there's just a cutoff date. Like, look, we tried to help you. We gave you some financial assistance. We helped you out with your rent by providing public housing based on your income.
Like
We've given you some food stuff, but you're not meant to be on it 7 years.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we want to do is we're also doing some training, and you didn't take advantage of the training. So now you
You're
just
on your
cut-
own.
you're-
You're fucked up.
Dude, there was a time in this country, and it wasn't that motherfucking long ago. It was just a little less than, I would say it was like around 80 years ago, because I
Okay.
think it really changed in the 40s.
Okay.
There was no help like that for anyone. We created the safety net, and the safety net has gotten out of control, man. Like they said, oh man, if even one person is hungry, they're like all crazy. Dude, people in every country used to go hungry. And
People
used to
still
starve.
in a lot of like, even when I still visit like Mexico, like there's a lot of
Especially in other countries.
a lot of homeless.
But you know
A lot
what?
of people
Those
starving.
people are actually in need. Those people are they. I guess what I want to compare to is they're not the people with food anxiety.
There's
They
not
have
like
no food.
Yeah, exactly.
They have no food.
They're not making
So
up
they're not just a
excuses
little
for it.
anxious about it.
Yeah.
They're not being fed every day, but worried they might not be. That's what this whole new thing was that I told you. This food anxiety thing is because it's bullshit. It's like it's not real. You're making something up and putting a label on it. That's not a thing. It is the thing when people do go hungry. And look, there are people in the world that still don't have running water and shit. Like, right?
That's
I
why,
mean,
that's
dude, we are so fucking blessed here.
Oh, 100%.
But they act like they're so oppressed.
They
You're
are.
not oppressed, man.
Yes, they are, Troy. Come on.
You got into a university.
Be considerate, man.
You're not oppressed, you dumb young motherfuckers. Nobody is oppressing you, man. They're just not. But I didn't know how I was going to go off on this, but we did pretty good.
I enjoyed that conversation. It's just I'm very curious to see where this like turns out, because I honestly do, because like I forget what the cycle is called, because talking back about Doc, he actually referred to me like a book to read about where he believes we're heading as a society in the U.S. I'll have to pull up the message and find the book, but there's a cycle where every government or every civilization kind of like and we're towards the end of that cycle, if I remember correctly.
And you know who the person that really does a good job deep diving into that is?
Who's that?
Tom Ballou.
Tom Ballou.
Yeah, we've talked about him before in his podcast, but he does a really good job of explaining that. He does a great job of explaining why we have this wealth gap that we do. And if you listen to the things I say, you're going to see that I align very closely with him. And, I've just acquired that knowledge or information over the course of my lifetime.
Yeah.
Is, what it is. That's the...
I've just seen how it just happens. Yeah, thankfully for me, I've always had like a good source of like, I'm not going to be able to name you specific dates or years or blah, 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 blah. But I have a good understanding of how things tend to work for the most part.
Well, therein is the danger.
Yeah.
That if it continues, you are going to have the people at the low end or people who align at the low end bringing pitchforks out into the streets. That's
I honestly, I'm surprised we didn't get there as quickly, because that was honestly one of those conversations I had when before the election. So I have a lot of Democratic friends, very, very like, oh, fuck Trump, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, whether Trump wins or because it was obvious that Trump was going to win the election. Like, it was like you'd be pretty stupid to believe something else. But whether it'd be a good thing or a bad thing, is the way I explained it to my friend was, like, Trump winning is going to be good no matter what, right? Because it's either going to accelerate to the point where we get the pitchforks and stuff like that, because that's realistically what a civilization needs for it to restart itself, right? Like those really crazy, crazy, crazy things, right? But I honestly thought because like when you were talking about riots and all that, I honestly thought it was going to get, like, obviously it got crazy with LA and stuff like that. But I thought it was going to get really, really bad.
I thought it was going to be worse.
I thought it was going to be really... I still think it's going to get there. I'm just still surprised it hasn't got to that point as quickly. I don't know if it's because there's so many sports going around, a lot of things to distract the people.
No, here's what I think about that. I think that it hasn't, because much of that protesting has been recruitment and made up.
Not actual.
That it's not actual. That if it was actual, we'd see more of what you were talking about. We'd see it happening faster, and we'd see even, worse results in those areas and things like that. Where now it's more limited, and the same people who were carrying the Black Lives Matter signs are now carrying the No King signs. And the same groups that paid people, not everybody that goes through protests paid. Come on, that's not what we're saying or what we believe, but people are paid to organize and get people worked up. And yeah, some people might be given a little stipend here and there, to actually show up on a certain day or whatever. If you don't have anything else to do, and You know, hey, can you come out for a Saturday for $200 and hang around and hold this? Yeah,
like,
we'll
fuck
sing
yeah.
songs. And, oh, let's go. This will be so fun. It'll be like the 60s again. Do you have a joint? You know, come on. Fuck, dude. You know. But
I love our country.
I really, this is, the other thing that's crazy that I can't believe is how young this guy is.
The new mayor,
Mom Downey. Yeah.
Ma'am Dunny. I did see some shorts from.
It's like, did I make some bad choices? Why didn't I go this route?
This route of the governor,
just
or
be
like a mayor or something.
a mayor, man. The only city that is good to really be the mayor in, where you
like have
there's no mayor in our country
Mhm.
that has the clout of a New York City mayor.
New York or LA is probably like a good second, maybe.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
What's up?
Okay, because you've been around me for a minute now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, you're a minute, and you have. Maybe you haven't. Maybe you've always paid this much attention to this stuff, but at least I'm guessing you've paid a little bit more attention to this stuff than before.
Yes and no. I've
Okay.
always been, like I said, I can't name you politicians. I can't name you years. I can't name you
Right.
this or that. But I have a good. That's always been my thing. I've seen it a lot more because it's popped up more on my feed. Because obviously social media has pushed political stuff
Yeah.
recently in the
And
past
then
few years.
we're
a little
doing
more.
it, so it comes up more too.
Exactly.
Just
So
giving them
I would say it shows up more. Whether my interest in retaining a lot of this information
Okay,
is
That's
probably
fair
not. It's
enough.
probably not as.
That's fair
as-
enough.
But I'll
And
listen
I
to
know,
it.
I know what you said about names, but I'm going to ask you a name anyways.
ahead.
And that's because, and I don't know if it's really fair since this is what's been in the news, and it's hard not to know Mom Donnie's name. Although
I'll be honest with
I'd
you,
love to go on the street and just ask people.
The first time you mentioned his name was the first time I even, because
Yeah.
we talked about him like maybe a week or two ago or something like that, and you were saying Maldani versus the guy he was
Cuomo.
with Cuomo, because Cuomo I've heard the
In
name a few
Sliwa.
times, but I kid you not, this morning was the first time I even saw a picture of him. But the few times that we talked about him was the first time that I knew about him.
Yeah. Okay. Do you know who the governor of New York is? No.
Couldn't tell you.
Okay.
Couldn't tell you. No.
Kathy Hochuli, but it's I wouldn't.
No.
But let me.
The only other one that I know is like was it Newsom?
Yeah,
from California.
You don't. Do you know who the current mayor is that's being
For-
replaced in New York?
In New York? Maldani, right?
He just got elected.
Yeah.
He's not the mayor yet.
So he's just still like the
he's
beforehand.
yeah.
No, I have no idea.
Who is the mayor today?
Some Italian guy. I don't know.
No, it's Adams.
No. I see, like I said, names. It's just I don't know.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
mind at all.
No, yeah,
I
for
was
sure.
trying to show, and we didn't do a good job of it. I was trying to show that people. I think people would more likely know Mamdani's name
Yeah.
than actual even governors.
Oh, I would
Where-
agree
yeah,
because he's been in the news more.
but governors should be more prominent
yeah.
on the scale than city mayors.
yeah, for sure. But that's just not how the
But
media
no,
portrays
I'm
things.
just showing how that's how unique New York is. Because New York
Oh,
itself,
gotcha,
look,
gotcha,
New York
gotcha,
is
gotcha,
bigger than
gotcha.
I don't know how many states. Put
got it.
ask. That's a great question. Let's do that in Chat GPT. How many states have a lower total population than the city of New York? That's a really interesting one.
I want to say like 80%.
No,
Oh, 65?
no, it's going to be a low number, but it's going to be some. 14. See, I was right. I said lower. But 14 states. Think about it, though. That's still a big deal. That New York City has as many people as 14 states in their whole landmass have. That's pretty crazy. So,
This is probably even crazier.
other countries. Yeah, just put yes.
I didn't think that was a hard question.
I don't know why. There you go. There's your list. Estonia, Cyprus. Those are like little islands and shit. Cyprus is like an island.
I forget how many
That's
actually like
interesting.
small island countries there actually is.
Oh, approximately 140 to 150 countries
yeah.
have total populations less than New York City.
That's what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure there's more people in New York City than a good majority of countries.
I don't even know. What's the total number of sovereign countries in the world? Even if you spelled it wrong, you're still good. It'll know what you meant.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes you never know.
195. And it said, what, 140
to 150.
Wow.
So New York City is
Bigger
than
than
most.
3/4 of countries based on population.
Holy shit. Yeah, because I do remember them like, because I forget there was a video where they're comparing population. Like, I'm pretty sure Texas, or no, that one might have been landmass.
Oh,
like,
that was
the
like,
landmass is like bigger than most countries or whatever.
we could put all the United States in Texas.
Yeah. No, it's
Texas
crazy.
is huge.
It's fucking crazy. Yeah, that's why like it's so like when people talk about certain states and stuff like that, like I don't think people take in consideration how many people are in certain states and like why those things are so like big in certain. Like if something's going on in Wisconsin, no one gives a fuck. Cause like there's 100 people there, like who gives a fuck? But if it's happening in fucking New York, where half our population is, like people are gonna care about stuff like that. So it's pretty fascinating actually, cause like as a country we're a whole, right? But realistically we're like New York, California, and like a handful of other states, and then everyone else is just like back there. Like yeah, you get a vote, but do you really?
Do you really?
But do you really?
Do you really?
It's funny to think. It is realistically. That's why like.
But that's why we have the system that we do too, so that the majority can't overrun the minority.
But I feel like
because
it still does in a way.
Well,
Like
not like, but it would be way worse.
It would be way
man.
worse, for
way
sure.
worse.
For sure.
Because but that's why the power was supposed to be in the states. The people of Idaho know what the people of Idaho needs are. Why would you ask somebody in fucking Los Angeles how to solve an Idaho problem, right? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't have that problem there. Totally different problems.
When did that like? Because that happened quite a long time ago, right?
Like
when they
what?
switched over to from state power to like federal kind of, or was it a
No, it's
gradual thing?
It's
It was a
just
gradual.
thing. It's from day one. It's been a gradual thing because everybody's going to try to test the line.
What they
It's
can
no
do for the
different than a
most.
fucking little kid, man.
Yeah.
Little kid is going to test you. How much can I
Push the
get away
limits
with?
until you get smacked around?
Yeah, you're going to have that. You're going to have that, and that's exactly what we're doing now. And the smackdown is the Supreme Court that decides. And both sides are supposed to listen to the results of the Supreme Court. And I believe that. Look, even if it's something that I like and wish were to be true, if the Supreme Court says this is what it is, and even though I supported Trump doing it, if they say he can't do it, I'm for not doing it. You know what I mean? I'm not for him violating the Constitution. That's just silly. I just don't. Most of us don't believe that dumb shit like that. We just don't. We want to abide by the Constitution. But I am for him testing the waters. I am for him saying, well, yeah, this might be a 1940 law. Let's see if I can still use it. It hasn't been used by anybody else.
That was some crazy shit. I am not gonna lie though, because
it's not dumb.
But it's not dumb.
It's not dumb to test
but
it.
it's just so funny to me.
Yeah, but that's because it's power,
'Cause
man.
yeah, 100%.
But also, it is easier to solve some problems when somebody has more authority.
Yeah.
You know, it's different if you're a private company versus a public company and you have a board of directors, right? And if you have investors or not. If you don't have investors, you don't have to answer to those people. But if you have investors, you gotta at least you have to take them into consideration. They're gonna want a seat at the table and have some input in what goes on and whatever. But if not, like you just get to decide and make it happen. And Trump was used to that, man. That's how he's used to getting shit done, man. But he has worked within what the rules or the law has been until, look, you got to challenge him in court. Do that and let the court figure it out. I'm just not against it. Probably the biggest current thing right now, I would say, is probably the whole blowing up the drug boats. I'm not really against that.
He fucked up on that though.
Has he?
They were civilians. They weren't even like they weren't.
That's not true. You don't know that.
No, they like.
No, it's all that's speculation. There's
It
no
was
truth there.
speculation.
It's all speculation.
I'm
Some people are saying that, or some people say you should just arrest them, and
they
should
confirmed
have
that they were.
Nope.
No. Damn.
I'm just saying it's speculation. I'm just saying they still haven't stopped him, and he's still doing it.
No, he's still going to do it. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
But that will be challenged in court
Eventually. Yeah.
And then, is this a power that the president has?
They're going to probably say yes.
Yeah. Well, and it's no.
I mean, in the legally he was able to do it, right? Or was that the whole controversy, whether or not legally he was allowed to do it?
Okay. Well, now you're going to have two different things. You're going to have U.S. law, and then you're going to have international law.
Gotcha.
And I'm like this when it comes to international law. You know what I'm saying?
I get you.
Because how are you? That's why the UN doesn't work, man. That's why
almost never
international
worked, yeah.
courts don't work.
No, that's right.
Because how are you going to enforce it? How are you going to make me? How are you going to make
Come
me?
over to America and enforce
How are you
it?
going to make me? You're not going to be able to do that.
Get through the defense first, and then we'll talk.
But I do believe in our law, in our Supreme Court, in listening under our laws. We should not be governed by other countries and having that power to do that to us. Because, again, how many countries are going to like that we're number one and have that power? And if they can get it and they can group together to take us down or try to take our money, that's with all these treaties and stuff like the climate treaties and stuff. It's okay, we all agree on this and the U.S. has to give us some money. So it's no different, dude. Like, fuck them, man. That's not how it worked. That's not how the world was built. The world was built on violence and dominance.
Yeah.
It just was. Yeah. And to think that that's different today is being
stupid.
naive.
Yeah, 100%.
You're naive if you think that.
100%.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's not a thing. So I don't really know about this whole Mamdani thing. I don't think it says anything about the election in the midterms, honestly. And maybe it'll come back to bite him. I think we're going to see some really big boosts in the economy. Boosts.
Okay.
Yeah, in the economy over the next 8 months.
Okay.
Over the next 8 months.
All
That's
right.
my timeline that I have this on. That it's going to be significant, where people are feeling better and understanding and be in line with the direction the country's going.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because everything, these companies and countries promised Trump these trillions of dollars, and where is it? It's happening, man. And I know that it's happening because it's even happening in my hometown. I might have mentioned it before. I don't remember. But Toledo has always been a home to Jeep Wrangler.
Okay.
Jeep Wrangler specifically. And Stellantis is investing billions of dollars here to improve a number of different plants. And they're also going to increase production here. And it's going to add 900 jobs. And 900 jobs at that factory is middle class doing okay. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like with overtime and shit like that, you're talking, probably $75,000 to $110,000, $115,000. It's decent.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's not
a little bit above
decent.
those are
still
minimum or the average.
Those auto jobs. They're not the number of auto jobs there were 25 years ago, but they're still considered good. Blue collar
Especially if you
jobs.
don't got like a degree or anything like that. Like you go work at a dealership.
Exactly.
I have a lot of friends that work at dealerships, a lot, and some of them make good money too. Some of them make really good money.
Yeah,
for doing absolutely nothing.
You know which ones make the best money?
The ones sitting in the office.
Nope, the one or two guys that are the top salespeople who take however many number of salesmen there are, and take 20% of that. So if there's 10,
2 of them,
the number 2. They're making
80%
of the money,
yeah.
and the other 8 are making 20% of the money.
20, yeah, not wrong.
And they're late. Some of them are lazy. Like I just got an email from one. My my employee took my car in to get some things checked out
on the vet.
on the vet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so I said, while you're there, have them give me a trade-in value.
For the vet.
Yeah, because you can do that shit online now too, and
Yeah.
companies will do that. But as a salesman, you always want to draw them in. You don't want to tell them on the phone like, "Look, dude, I ain't got that much time. I know what I'm doing. Just let me. If you let me, I make the sale for you when I'm buying shit. All right, I'm the easiest one to sell when it comes to that kind of stuff. But if you try all the other bullshit, you just annoy me, and I just leave.
Walk away. Yeah.
And so we didn't get it, and they were going to email me. And then I got a question about it emailed, and I'm like, "Look, you didn't give me the
quote?
information about the
value of the car?
trade-in value of the
They
car."
emailed you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
would definitely would have called you.
here's the
that's
thing.
better,
There's
dude.
two things. One, he should have emailed me the information I asked for, and then he should have followed up with the phone call.
Oh, he didn't even give you the information. Oh, I thought they sent you the information over email.
Well, he didn't. Well,
or he was just saying, "Oh, I can."
responded.
Like, "Oh, I can
And
give
then,
you this."
are
number."
you still interested in this? And
okay,
and then I said,
okay.
dude, I asked for the trade-in value and you didn't give it to me.
'Cause he's gonna
So
have you bring
I
the
sent,
car in again
I've sent it to other dealers to give me quotes on approximate. Because I know if I did something, and I probably won't, but if I did do something, I have a range that I want to be in.
Yeah.
There's a certain amount because I've done all the work. I know that my vet should, with
Hold
the
the
miles
value.
that are on it, should be at minimum the 65,000 range, and because I was in the 90s when I bought it, it's a 205, or 2025, not a 2026.
Okay.
2025 that some dealers have Z06s
Yeah.
that are $5,000 to $10,000 under MSRP.
Really?
And I paid MSRP originally, on mine. So, and then on these other models, some dealers for a while were getting more than MSRP, and now that's under, and there's kind of a sweet spot in there that it might make sense for me to do that, even though I don't need to. It's not going to make anything better. More people aren't going to like my car. Maybe less people.
What.
will. I don't know.
No, that's
Because most people can't tell the difference.
No, but if car people can tell the difference between a.
Oh yeah,
a
you just look at the back of it.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Instead of the two exhausts on the side, it's four in the middle. You know that fucker's faster.
But it's also
sound wise.
It sounds
but
different.
even mine sounds good.
Oh,
so
for
somebody was
sure.
arguing
For
with
sure,
me
for
about
sure.
Ferrari. I'm like, dude, you don't own a Ferrari or a vet. So shut the fuck up. Nobody wants to hear from your broke ass. Like, why hate on my Ferrari? People don't hate on my car. I've had. Most people don't hate.
How
on
about
it.
some Ferrari people might hate on your car? I think.
But you know
Ferrari
what?
people
You know
don't
what's
like
weird about
Chevy.
that is that car, to me, because Dawn did it.
Mm.
McLarens get mistaked for being Corvettes
Yes,
more often than the
Yeah.
other way around.
it's because of the design of the actual car itself.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Other than people say, oh, it's a copy Ferrari. Almost all of those cars have a lot of the same supercar
Yeah.
type features
Oh, yeah.
and stuff. It's like, so yeah, it is. But actually, total looks wise, honestly, not performance,
Mhm.
but I think the performance is there for the money. That
Are you about to say that the Corvette is better looking than the McLaren? Is that what you believe?
I think it's better looking, and I think it's better looking than the Ferrari.
The Ferrari, I
when,
can say
and
yes.
when I've been right next to a
But the
very
McLaren?
similar Ferrari,
Yeah,
dude,
Ferrari.
well, I'm not
McLaren?
into all the rounded edges of the McLaren.
That's
now,
fair. I
because
get that. I get
like
that. I
the-
get that. I get that. I
dude,
get that.
this eyeballing this, even to this day, from day one I've had it, it's
Mhm.
been better than I expected. I really, really love the lines on this.
I get that. No, that
I
okay, that's,
really,
that's a
really
fair,
do.
That's fair. That's fair. Because the
And I'm not
McLaren.
saying McLaren sucks. Right?
No,
I'm
no,
just
no,
saying
no,
they
no.
get
The look-
mistaked. It's like, so what is somebody ditching on it because they did that? And they just didn't copy that. They are trying to create for less money as close to the performance of those $500,000 cars as they can.
I'm sorry. I got to interrupt you.
Go ahead, what? What
Bob
do we do?
Moore says his Adidas are faster than that vet.
No, Bob. No. That's not a thing, brother. I love you. That is not a thing.
I'm sorry. That was just so funny. That caught me off guard.
He's so
No,
funny.
but I totally understand your point where you're saying that the roundness of a McLaren can, because it is very round on the front, and I understand.
But
that.
you look at the side by the back wheel
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. That is
They're
more
very
like the
similar.
Vet. They're very similar. Very similar. And I think more so, that's more similar even than the Ferrari is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No,
That's
they're
just
very,
my,
they're
that's just my opinion.
very,
I just
very
think it's
similar.
really good. I'm just like,
No,
I don't shit on any of them.
No, it's
You know what
it's
I
a
mean?
good car.
It's a good car.
It's a good
Buy
car.
what you like if you could afford that, you know. But there are guys that can afford the McLaren that are still choosing to get the Vet,
100%.
maybe because of how they were raised. You know, the Vet was always cool when I was a kid. You know, always cool. But it was more of
I do like the old school Vets
yeah,
more than I
do
like
too.
the new school.
Well, I think they're totally. They almost should have different names. They're two
I agree.
totally different
I agree.
vehicles.
I agree.
Okay. But yeah, I definitely think that. But they were more, to me, they were more muscle cars back in the day. They were
Exactly.
like the elite muscle car.
Yes.
They weren't, that was better than the Camaro, the Trans Am, the Mustang. You had the Vet up here. And people try to compare, you know, put Mustang in that category with the GT and all this stuff and the more expensive Mustangs. To me, they trashed the Mustang name. That's just my personal opinion.
The GT?
But they trash Mustang, period, because they put the Mustang badge on so many different things that it just doesn't.
Fair.
It like I don't even.
You can't tell the difference to like they're very very like similar to each one of them and stuff.
Dude, they built way too many back in the day. They probably even put 4 cylinders in them for a minute. Some of them.
I think they
it
did.
was bad.
I think
dude.
they actually did.
They fucked up the Mustang many times. The cool Mustangs, even today, if you really would, you want a Shelby.
100%.
Right?
100%.
I mean,
either that or an old school Mustang.
And me for that would go for truck too. If I'm not gonna have like that truck, you know, if I'm not gonna have something like that, I want a Shelby truck. Yeah, I want that. I haven't had that. You know, I've done the TRX thing. I could see myself do a truck, or you know, I'd love old school truck too.
Oh,
a lowered old school truck. You know, I'm thinking like right around 1980, maybe. Square bodies. Yeah.
Yes. Like something like this? Like
Yeah.
old school? Hey, now you're talking my language,
Yeah.
Troy.
Even like that basic gray one there.
This
Oh,
one?
that blue one, dude.
The blue one's
On the
sick.
left, no, that
Oh,
like that.
with the white
That's-
stripe.
Yes, because it's not too low, but it's low, and you put a nice 350 in there.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Look,
now
and
we're
I was
talking.
well. That's a C10. I wouldn't want a little one, but you get the idea.
Yeah. More of the style than
Yeah. This
That's
old
nice.
square body. I think that's cool. You know, Dawn, she's a Trans Am girl.
Fair.
Because that's what she had in high school for a minute. So she'd like, if we have an old
Is-
car, we'll probably
is-
get the Trans Am before we get the truck.
versus
But,
truck.
but I could see that. I could see that someday doing something
That'd
like
be
that.
sick. That'd be fucking. It's like one of those like weekend cars rolling down the windows.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But you know, I like to ride shit. I like to use shit. Like,
It's like,
I'm
why,
gonna
that's why
destroy the.
wouldn't you buy a
I'm gonna
fucking car not
destroy
to
the
drive it?
value of the thing because I'm gonna use it and put miles on that fucking thing.
Fuck yeah, I love
Somebody else can do a update on it again, like whatever I did, or you know, I always like those car shows too, building stuff
Oh,
from
fuck
scratch like
yeah.
that. I
Oh,
love
yeah.
that stuff. Yeah. So that's it. How did we get on
that.
cars?
Don't even ask me right now. I have no idea. I have no
I
idea.
don't know.
Uh,
Somebody was doing something I don't. What was that even about?
I was asking.
Oh, that was the drug boat shit. So
Oh,
what,
yeah,
what
yeah,
I
yeah,
did
yeah, yeah.
quickly, we might go through it. What videos did I send you?
What videos?
Let's see if we want to talk about any of those before we sign off. Because I think I've done a show. No, we'll save that one. We'll save that one for Friday. This one. Play this one. This is good. Because this just happened. I watched it live when it actually happened. And it was Fox News interviewing Senator Fetterman. this guy, like, he's in his, I don't know if that's his Senate office, his home office.
It looks like he's at home.
I don't know,
Like
dude.
he just got out of the gym. He's chilling.
He always wears that hoodie. It's just so funny. I really thought he was a joke when he was campaigning and his health was bad, and I thought it was a bad idea. But now for him to be the voice of reason in the Democratic Party, so nuts, and they can't stand him. But if he wanted to become a Republican, I wouldn't be against it.
Mm-hmm.
But he votes his own way. He truly votes down the middle. You know, sometimes if
depending on what he feels is fair,
whether you like it or not. And I think that's how you choose people. You're not going to find somebody who aligns with you on everything. So you want to find somebody that they tell you what their
beliefs are.
what their beliefs are, and then they actually vote that way, regardless of what the party does. You know, that
I feel like it should be.
And we know it's not.
Jesus.
We know it's not. Go ahead and play him again.
Oh,
it's not coming through here.
It is not. Yep, I forgot. Easy fix. Easy fix.
All right. It's funny. You know, this happens on PBD too. They do shit like this because sometimes we just do shit on the fly.
Yeah.
It's not so much as of a blame. I think it's more about what's driving it and who's driving it and who is withholding their votes and are about opening or keeping our government closed. I've been a part of one of three, as you pointed out, and that means we need 5 more. So for me, that's where we are. And I agree that it's a bad idea to shut our government down. It was wrong if the Republicans would do this as they've done, and it's wrong now as we are doing it this right now. So for me, that is a country over party situation. And now 42 million Americans now are in food insecurity, and all of the unions that are being directly hit by this, and they all have been calling this needs to end. And that's where I'm at, and America's fly system, that's now been impacted. I fly every week, and I can see more and more delays and cancelings right there on the boards. So why would we want to mess with this now? We're just a couple weeks away from Thanksgiving. I think
it's horrible,
reached the
dude.
point now. This really has to end, and it's not about the blame or who's going to blink. Right now, I think this thing, it's entirely appropriate, has to end.
Do you sense that there's any momentum among your Democrat colleagues to finish this, or are they waiting till after the election tonight?
I wouldn't describe it as momentum, but I would describe it of they realizing it's getting harder and harder to rationalize keeping our entire government down. And it doesn't mean there's 47 of us and we need 5 more. So this doesn't need a wave. It just needs 5 more colleagues to say, look, you know, we can all 47 of us agrees we should want to extend our tax credits and make our health insurance more affordable. But now we need 5 more to agree this has gone too long and it needs to end. And everyone deserves to get paid. And we want to make sure everyone gets fed. And now we are sending the wrong message at this point.
You know, I want to ask you about the election, obviously.
You know,
I like this guy. I
know, dude. It's so weird. But really, during the campaign, if you'd have listened to him, you'd have been like, no way.
Really?
Dude, he was sick and it wasn't good. But, you know, Joe Manchin is no longer a senator. He used to be that kind of voice of reason in the middle.
Okay.
Cinema from Arizona, she was one too.
Okay.
But you don't have many of those anymore. You just don't. Fetterman's it, and 2 others that are like that right now.
Respect that. I mean, because
realistically, I do too. I respect it for that's the kind of a Democrat that I can disagree with many things with, but still respect him.
100%.
100% respect because he really believes what he really believes. It's not fake.
Yeah, the way he talks, you can tell that he's not putting on a show or an act.
He does it based on, first, what's best for the country. then what's best for the party that I'm a part of.
Yep.
And if the two differ, how much difference is there? And maybe sometimes there isn't. So, like, sometimes you give in and you go along.
Mm-hmm.
But on serious issues like this, he doesn't, like right now, I would say what I use, the lens that I look through is America first. I look through that America first lens because that's what I voted for. So is whatever we're doing, is this good for America first? And who? That's what, and I mean our citizens.
Okay, I was about to say, is it America or American people?
The American people.
Okay, good. Just wanted to clarify that part.
Yeah, no, good job. Because that's what I believe is hardcore for me, that it's not that I don't believe in helping others or other countries, but I want to take care of the needs of the American people first. My problem with this, and say, Troy, well, why aren't you for extending these subsidies? I'm not for extending these subsidies. I'm for extending them a short period of time, maybe as long as a year. I could go with that. If I was, that's what I'd be saying. Like, let's open the government. We'll extend these for a year. I don't want to extend them for a year. And I don't want to make them permanent. And I don't want to make them 10 years because the cost of that's going to be unbelievable. That I acknowledge there's a problem, that we tried to address it with the Affordable Care Act, and things have just gotten more expensive. It hasn't worked. We need to find another way and debate it. And, the Democrats are going to have their ideas about the single-payer system. You're going to get to pitch it again. And maybe we're at the tipping point. People are going to say, fine, I'm so sick of this. I don't want to have to do with it. I'm willing to pay a little more in taxes so that I don't have to worry about medical bills and I don't have to worry about losing everything because of a medical bill. I'm in. Have that debate. Whatever happens, happens. I'm for the debate of real ideas. That's what I'm for. So if that maybe gives you an example of it and explaining it, but it's American citizens first. And this is just not working. When the government got involved in student loans, guess what happened?
Went up. Yeah.
College costs went up.
Yeah.
Because they're like, great, we don't, if you're the college and you're like, great, we get the money no matter what. Because now if the student fucks up, the government's going to take care of it. I don't have to go over them to repay the loan. The government's going to do it. The government's not going to default. Here you go. Now they charge more. How has that worked for healthcare? It hasn't. That's what we did. And then Obama set it up so that after it was voted on, those increases mostly didn't happen until 4 years later. That was all by design. Anybody who really knows the details of it knows that's what was designed and what was set up. Because it was through him. It was on somebody else's lap then. And neither side, it's true. The Republicans didn't like it. They tried to repeal Obamacare, and they failed because of one reason. They didn't have a cohesive answer to what would replace it. And I don't think they have a plan on that now.
Even now, yeah.
Honestly.
Have they kind of gave up on that, do you think? Like
a majority have given up on it.
Other stuff. We'll let them have that.
But now we're at that point. We have to deal with this as a country and what's best for everyone. And so we do need to deal with that, and we do have to have the debate and let people create these policies, create solutions. And if the Republicans don't create any solutions, it's on them. They're fucked. Talk about the competition. Here's where, just very quickly, and I'm going to end this, because this is my wheelhouse. I get excited about this stuff. So you have employer insurance, but if you didn't have employer insurance, right, let's say you wanted a plan that only covered catastrophic shit, only hospital shit. You only wanted to cover hospitalization. You didn't care about going to the doctor. You don't care about whatever,
like minor inconveniences,
minor things there. Or you want drugs,
like
probably
life or death kind of
drugs,
thing,
and you want, if I break a bone, you want that stuff covered. You want insurance for that. But the other stuff, because here in Arizona, I use a concierge. We use like a doctor concierge kind of service, and we pay a monthly fee of like $100 a person, whether we use it or not. And they get that, but then we can call anytime, we can schedule an appointment anytime, and it covers all that stuff. And it's between us and the doctor. and we pay it. And it's phenomenal. I
But
love
that's,
it.
That's not
But
bad.
then I only need the other stuff covered. But
Yeah.
especially if you're young, you're like, I'm not really worried.
Barely
Just in case
going
of
to
this,
it.
so I'm not going to use this. And that's going to be the cheapest route for you.
Actually,
Okay.
I actually might go down that.
But here's the problem. The best insurance plan for that
Mhm.
is I'm going to pick Utah. The insurance company's in Utah.
Mhm.
You're in Arizona. You can't buy that Utah plan. It's not been approved by the state of Arizona. Every state has their own insurance regulators. That's why it's all fucked up, dude. Why shouldn't you be able to buy a policy from that's offered to other people in another state? And guess what? If that happens, and there aren't very many companies, or maybe no companies, that offer the exact type of policy you want in Arizona, and people like you start buying this policy in Utah, guess what's going to happen? Some insurance company is going to decide we better offer that policy
'Cause
here
they
in
want to make
Arizona,
their money, yeah.
and we're going to do it for $50 less a month. You know, the competition thing. That's where that shit works. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that
That
is
kind
that
of
something you
stuff.
can do? Can you buy insurance from a different state?
No.
Oh, okay. I was about to say.
That's my point.
Oh, okay. I was
That's
about to
why
say
that's bad.
That sounds fucking crazy. That sounds,
It's good. You should be able to.
I fucking wish.
Right? You can buy other shit
Yeah.
from other states.
Yeah,
Why
that's so
shouldn't you be able to buy insurance?
But how would that work? Would you? I guess
Why
because
would that matter?
insurance
Where
is
does
just
it
covered.
matter
Yeah,
that
because it
they're-
doesn't matter.
What
Look
does
at
it
it. Yeah,
matter
you're
where
right,
they're
you're
at?
right,
It's
you're
all
right.
about those
The
states
fucking
having
card
power.
here,
and
here's your
what they
card,
charge
yeah.
those
You're right.
agents to sell
Right,
it. They all
right.
want fees, and that's all bureaucratic bullshit,
You're
dude.
right. You're right. That's crazy. Damn.
So that and let regular people, have health savings accounts. That if it's not offered through their employer, let them have health savings accounts. You put that money in. If you don't use it, you can turn it into an IRA later in life. There's
I feel
there's
like it's so
ways that it
simple
can
to
be
like
done.
do all this, but they're just like, let's keep it complicated.
Yes, because it's better for
It's
the
better
drug
for the-
companies.
yeah,
It's better for the insurance companies. And if you were an investor, it's one of the better sectors that you could invest in is healthcare. It just is.
Yeah.
Don't take my word for it. Fucking anybody.
up.
Look it up. I don't make shit up. But have that debate again. We need to have that debate again because this has not worked. And it's been over 10 years now with the ACA. So we have plenty of time to see whether this worked or not. And it's not. And if the insurance companies under ACA can just keep indiscriminately doing increases and forcing the government to create bigger and bigger subsidies because people can't afford it, how is that good? Then why? Then I think that's all designed to do this. That we say finally, fuck it, let's do single payer.
Yeah.
That's what it's designed to do. They want this mess to be
They want
here
the headache.
so that they can get what they really have wanted all along from the very beginning is single payer healthcare. And if you don't believe me, ask Bernie Sanders. Okay, that's it. Dang, I need some more water. Good thing the show is over. But I appreciate it. And great, you contributed.
Yeah,
Nice job today.
I think I've been up for a little bit today, so I had a little more energy to
Oh,
disperse.
good. Whatever you did, do that again. We love that, and we love you. And I didn't say it enough during the show that I just fuck up that shit. So maybe drop that in a couple places.
I'm working
or
on something.
Yeah.
I'm working on something. Yeah.
If you can.
I think by the next show we should have something that just
do that.
automatically
But
pops
we
up for
want
people.
folks you to hit the subscribe button. The one person that's left listening right now, hit the subscribe button. Share our clips. Let people know where we're at. Follow me on other social media, and really help me out getting
On
my
TikTok.
TikTok back up and going. It's the Outlaw Apostle Podcast.
Correct.
That's the real and only account. I wish the fuckers would let me buy a blue check mark. I do. I pay for it.
On TikTok?
Yeah,
Is
'cause
it,
you have
it's
to do
not
some-
one of those things you
It's
can
not what they do. You have to like be a certain somebody or some
for
extent
X
or
amount of time
so-
or whatever.
Yeah, because there's so many fake accounts of me out there. Just beware of the fake accounts. The only real TikTok account is the Outlaw Apostle Podcast now, and I think I'm approaching 100 followers. So
Hell
starting
yeah.
over again. Fuckers. Fuck TikTok. But I'm going to use it anyways. All right, that's it. We'll see you on Friday. This is the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy.
Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believed me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic gotta say. I got them picking up the pieces.